Hey guys! So in this video, I am on my land here in Guatemala, and I'm with my new team, Ashley and Dijon, who you'll get to meet shortly. So in this video, I will give you an update of what's been going on here on the land. I'm going to show you where we left off with the last workers who started the project. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why I decided to stop working with them for the time being and transition to a different way of approaching this project. So right now they are up there. You can kind of see them. They're starting to take some measurements, and we're going to be working on a base map. And let me show you first where we left off with the last guys. So we got a big pile of earth here. In fact, let's go to the door. We got Miss Stella. We'll start from the door so you can see what it looks like when you walk in and what the guys did. So here is the door at the bottom of the land. Maybe one day you will be here and you will walk through this door. Miss Stella. Miss Stella in the house or on the land. So hi everybody. Good to see you guys. So this is where we left off. So maybe you saw, for 3 weeks we had a team of men from the farm who were working here. We were starting the earthworks. So the earthworks are essentially starting to flatten out the land and create these stone walls. So we're starting at the bottom, and as you'll see, because we'll walk up, the land is kind of like a rectangle, and it has this nice incline. And so what we're doing here to start is just flattening it out and creating these terraces on which we will plant and build and start building pathways. And so you can see where we left off. We left off with this big rock being excavated from the land right there, and a big pile of earth. So they've been digging out the earth and preparing to make the wall. So why did we stop? Well, there were a couple reasons. Maybe you sensed, if you saw my videos when we were starting to work, that I was having some frustrations, and there was a little bit of a misalignment. Now, do you know the difference between aligned action and misaligned action? I'm sure you do. You know, when you do something, you take a step and it's like not really. Why do we do these things? Because maybe we want to move forward. Why did I do this? I wanted to move forward. I didn't really fully know what my options were, and so I kind of just took the first thing that I could in order to make progress. We were starting the work without a really solid plan of what's going to go where. Like, where is the classroom going to go? Where are the tiny houses going to go? There was sort of like a general idea of my house will go at the top, and stay with me because we'll walk up there in a second. But we didn't quite have the plan solidified. They were just starting to work, and what that was going to result in is spaces. Just kind of see what are they going to do, and then we'll design the buildings and all the stuff to fit in. It's like, no, wait, actually, you know what? I think I would rather come up with the bigger picture plan and then start the work, right? That makes sense, because what if I decide I actually wanted a bigger classroom space for the kids and all of the things that are going to be happening first, but the terrace that I have doesn't fit that because we didn't have the plan. So we stopped the work with the guys, and now I'm actually working with my dear friend Ashley and her business partner Dijon, who they are artists, they are permaculturalists, they are just beautiful human beings, and you will get to meet them in this process. So let's walk, let's go up. So you can see it's still very, very, very rough, and we don't have paths yet, but let me take you, well, let's just go up this way. So that's going to be part of the map will be to create the pathways beforehand. Rather than starting the work and then figuring out where the paths are going to go, we're going to create the map and figure out where the paths are going to go. And then we're going to start the work, which I don't know about you, but that makes a lot more sense to me, and it feels also better because I don't know about you, but sometimes I have the tendency to want to jump into action before I've really thought things through. So far this has been one of the first lessons of the land, is to slow down. And that's actually one of the mottos working with Ashley, is we want to move at earth speed, right? So yeah, Mandy, well, isn't that kind of your fault? You should have had plans for them. Well, Mandy, yeah, you know, that is my fault. I had kind of a basic plan from the permaculture course, but things weren't drawn to scale. We didn't have an actual working map, and yeah, and I was like, okay, well, let's start, you know, and okay, well, we can start with earthworks, and, you know, Neil is my friend from the farm, and he's like, okay, well, I got these guys who just finished one job, I can put them on. And so really, I should have been like, no, let's not rush into the work, can we do the design process? And so after realizing that, it's like, okay, well, let's just put a hold on it. So yeah, so I'm learning. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I didn't know. And it's also, you know, that tendency to want to like okay, let's make progress, let's get things done. I don't know how to do this. How do we do this? Okay, we can get guys. Okay, let's go. Let's start. Because it's like, okay, well, I didn't know what else to do, but now I have other options. So let's keep going. So in that time, in the 3 weeks, we did cut most of the coffee. So here is some of the coffee wood. There are 3 piles of coffee wood. Some of it has already been moved to Karuna, but there's still quite a bit left. Yeah, we're learning through experience. You know, we don't start out perfect. We don't start out perfectly with all the answers, knowing exactly what we need to do. It's also not how life works, you know, and that's also why we have to be willing to be flexible and to assess where we're at and, you know, make some choices about what feels right and to admit when things don't feel right. So what they're doing right now is they have a cool measuring device, and one person is standing on one side, the other person is standing on the other side, and yay, there's an Ashley. Hi, honey. There she is. So beautiful with her dog, Copal. So here, let me show you also. Oh, Stella is doing her job. Yeah, even the best laid plans sometimes need to shift and change because we're learning as we go. And it wasn't really a mistake, it was a learning experience. I mean, what are mistakes but perspective to start over and to do things differently. So let me show you also. So I've had 2 fire ceremonies on this land. So I had one land blessing with a group of women friends. In that first week when the workers were starting, and then I had one little fire ceremony the other day for my Mayan birthday. So let me show you where the fire. So this is my little fire pit. Oh, it's so pretty. So when we were doing the fire ceremony, there were lots of fresh flowers. You can see what's left of the fresh flowers. Not so fresh anymore, and that's okay. So here is top of the land here. There's Ashley. She's holding up her hand to receive the laser. Yeah. And there is Copal. There's Deej holding the laser. Hi. And so, yeah, and you guys saw this this crazy little ravine here.
And
that's gonna be fun.
Little orange.
Yeah, the little orange tree. So sweet, right? I was so happy when I found out that this tree is included in the land. So look at that view. Oh yeah, that is Weepy. Weepy is here with us. I'm so excited for the future. I mean, so far the thought is that the main house will be here. And what's great about this is that the sun rises over there, and the night sky is just going to be beautiful. And so I can't wait. I just can't wait to see what it's going to look like from here. At sunrise, and also in the middle of the night, under the night sky with all the stars and the moon, and just watching the moon rise over that mountain ridge there. So, Dawn, you want to hug the tree? I want to hug all of the trees. Yeah. Yeah, so it's looking really good. Yeah, Belinda, it is really... Belinda says I should be excited. Yeah, I am very, very excited. And I'm also really excited to be working with these guys because not only are they very good at what they do, but they're also 2 of my very dear friends here in the valley. So they presented me with a proposal, a design contract, and, you know, boundaries and agreements and all the things, and that felt really good. Because before it was kind of like, okay, let's just do it, and there weren't really clear boundaries, there weren't really clear expectations. And I had mentioned in some of those videos that, like, you know, I was having some conflicts with the workers, and I'm not doing necessarily what I wanted or what I thought they were going to do, and there really wasn't, it was structured in the way that there wasn't necessarily the space for the kind of like feedback that I wanted to be able to give, because it was kind of like, well, we're just kind of just pushing through. It wasn't bad, it wasn't wrong, it was just not really that aligned action that I was hoping for and deeply wanting in my heart for this land. So yeah, so now we're shifting and we're doing things a little bit differently, which is going to be great. So timeline. Oh yeah, Bev asked, can I show the spot where the house is going to be? So I'm actually standing where I think the house is going to be, and I say where I think because one thing Ashley has emphasized is that in this process, you know, things might change, especially as I'm here on the land, as we make progress. I might have, yeah, exactly, Cindy. Cindy says, you did not make a mistake. The mistake would have been to continue on a path that didn't feel right. You did absolutely the right thing, and you have grown from it, so it was a blessing. Exactly, Cindy. That's a beautiful perspective and a beautiful kind of bigger picture understanding. And you know, there are so many metaphors and lessons for all of life. Do we just push ahead because we feel like we have to do something and we gotta get into action? You know, this whole in the cycles talk that I've been talking about recently, you know, there's this push to want to do the active masculine, achieve, produce, get things done, and sometimes the best thing we can do is be patient and sink into that sort of receptive feminine energy where we dream and move slower and let nature kind of unfold a little bit. So that's a lot of what I'm learning. Yeah, exactly, Bev. I went with my gut, which is sometimes that's hard to do. You know, your gut saying one thing, but you know, you could be afraid of. I was definitely afraid to like stop the work because I didn't want to disappoint Neil. I didn't want to hurt the guys' feelings, all these things. And so how often in life have you continued on a path that didn't necessarily feel right, but we do it because it can be uncomfortable to really ask for what we want. And so sometimes we'll put up with something we don't want because we're scared. I'm scared. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to disappoint anybody. So Bev, coming back to your question, where is the house going to go? So right now, the way that I see it, the main house, which it's not the first structure that's going to be built, is going to probably go up here, somewhere here at the top of the land. Oh, Trisha, I'm so sorry you got pooed on by a bird. You know, many cultures think that's good luck. We'll go somewhere around here. So it'll be the top of the land, you know, view of the mountain range, you know, and then there'll be a garden and a little sacred temple space down there. And then I mentioned that it won't be the first structure that's going to be built. When you're going to that with a dentist, Bev. You know, it's funny, you know, you can go to a hairstylist and you can like not really like what they did, but you're like, oh yeah, it's great. But you don't really tell them because you don't want to hurt their feelings, right? So I'm not crazy here. So in terms of timeline, you know, that was one thing we were just discussing in our meeting. It's like, what is your timeline? And I've emphasized, and I've said this before, is that I would really love to be staying here, living on this land by my birthday in November. Whether or not that's going to be possible, we'll see, but that's 8 months away. And so what we're hoping to be able to do, oh my God, she's such a goddess. Look at that goddess over there. My earthy goddess. What I'm hoping to do is actually get a tiny cabin built somewhere probably over there. And so I would be moving into a more basic, rustic, smaller house. And then, you know, moving slowly in phases and stages. In the future, I would graduate to a more me kind of like permanent structure. And then those smaller structures in the future, that's where, you know, my mother will come and stay when she visits, my sister or my niece, maybe you guys, you know, when I hold retreats in the future, or any instances where I open it up to like friends to come and stay, they would have a really nice little basic accommodation there on the land. So it feels really exciting. It feels really exciting to be learning, starting again with more perspective. And also, you know, this process of getting clear on like, what do I really want? And what is the experience that I want to have in this process? What is going to really help me and support me to really enjoy the process and not be kind of like stressed out and like, this isn't, like. So I'm in that process of learning, and it's very, very exciting. And I feel like I'm also being called, like one of my main lessons in this process and in my life is really to learn to slow down and enjoy each step. Because, I want the house, I want the vision, I want the goats and the chickens and the compost, and they're all these in the pond. There's gonna be a little pond fed by the river, and I want all these things. I want this vision, and yet can I be where I am right now, and can I be content with where I am right now, while still holding all of those things that I want, holding the dream, but being where I am, and cultivating contentment with where I am, right? Yeah. So let's go peek on them. Whoa. It'll be really nice when there are some really clean, solid paths, so I don't, almost trip every time I walk across the land. So, but we've already seen this land change so much. I mean, you guys may remember that this was just an overgrown jungle, and so now it's much more open, much more clear, much more spacious, so we can see the space. Yeah, Tracy, everything is happening in divine timing. We gotta respect that. And how often, I don't know about you, but have you ever tried to like rush life and like do it in your timing, and God, like the infinite spirit's like, actually wait. And sometimes life like makes us wait. Oh, look at Ashley's dog. This is Copal. I'm sure you're going to be seeing Copal a lot. Copal is a beautiful, beautiful creature. Hi, honey. Hi, Copal. Hi, Copal. This is Ashley's beast. And then we got Miss Stella. Yeah, we got Miss Stella, and Weepy followed us. Yeah, this is, Colleen says, oh, hi, Charles. Thank you, honey. I love you. Colleen says, takes time, but a lot is being done. Yeah, and this is going to be a long journey. This is a process. It's not one event. Let's see, he's just got that laser right there. Hey. So he points the laser, and Ashley is fulfilling the purpose of receiving the laser.
I'm also fulfilling the purpose of standing around and witnessing.
Yeah, yes.
Very good purpose.
So she's also standing around and witnessing and looking like a beautiful goddess, because she is one.
And lobelia.
Lobelia? Tell me about lobelia.
Lobelia is an interesting plant, Erica, because it relates to the lungs.
Oh, this is lobelia.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us about it?
Honestly, I haven't worked with it much, but I have an intuition that she's a medicine for both of us.
Mm.
So I just got that message here, and I was like, maybe this is why we had to wait.
Mm. So Ashley and I are also doing an herbal consultation. So what I like what we said before is she's helping me, yes, with this external landscape, but she's also helping me tend and nourish my internal landscape using plants and using nourishing earth medicine.
Yeah, because one of the things that I think Erica knows, but maybe you all are experiencing too, is that everything that we create is emergent from this internal landscape, and if we're not tending this, we're going to see that reflection on the outside in everything we're making. And so what we're trying to do together is just create that heart container, so that we're both like well and vibrant and ready, so that all of our creations emerge from that space.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we were talking in this video about like aligned action versus like misaligned action, and saying how the way I was doing it before, it didn't quite feel aligned, and so pulling back and then starting with you and Deej like feels so much more aligned and so much more like it's like in Taoism the concept of like effortless action.
Yeah, and again, like for me, I also teach yoga, and the space that our yoga practice comes from is the place between effort and surrender, and that true union comes from being able to oscillate between those two forms of action and non-action, or feminine and masculine, or the dualities, and that the true union comes from the grace of knowing when to employ each one. Right?
Amen.
Isn't that just sweet?
So sweet. Cool. I don't want to distract you too much.
No
'cause
worries.
I know you guys are working.
Digi's mapping trees and I'm
that's
mapping plants.
You know, this was one of my problems with the like I made a map in the permaculture course, but it wasn't to scale, and I didn't have the trees mapped.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that we kind of look at before we begin any project. Sometimes we want to start and we want to do all the things. Like we both know that tendency because we're fiery women. But to lay the foundation, to lay the groundwork, to really begin by just like witnessing and noting and looking at what's present, because that is like our materia prima, like the primal materials that we'll be working with, and everything else will emerge from. So right now we're in that phase of just witnessing what you have here, which is like so many amazing assets, and mapping those assets so we know how to catalyze them into creation.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing.
Yay. Amazing. Okay. Obviously, you can see why I love her and why I'm so excited to be working with Ashley and just kind of sinking into this like process rather than just like jumping, which is a little bit of, you know, what I've done a lot of in my life. So yeah, Bev, you have only seen like the tip of the iceberg of this beautiful woman's knowledge and sincerity and authenticity and a deep desire to like connect with the land and listen to the land. Yeah, I know. So Ashley, I'm taking her course. She's offering a course in April. It's a natural building course, and it's all about connecting to the land, connecting to the elements, and really coming into right relationship. So wrong relationship, that can look like forcing, that can look like taking, that can look like, you know, all the ways that we're not in that reciprocity. So that's one thing, you know, the work I'm doing with Ashley is so much more than just creating the map and creating this plan. It's like so much deeper, and there's like some energetic shifts that I'm really excited about. And yeah, and what's just so great is like these two humans are just like my friends. They're like people that I really cherish, and yeah, just really excited to be going on this like adventure with them. So yeah, Elizabeth, I bet you would love it here. Oh, Lynn says, consider journaling all the details daily for the land project. Well, Lynn, I think that's a great idea. So I have my special notebook where I'm putting all my dreaming and visioning, but also, you know, I'm making these videos. I'm recording the process. I'm writing blog posts. In fact, I have another one that's brewing up right now called The Story of My Land. Actually, I have two blog posts in the works right now. My smoothie recipe, which I know a lot of you have asked for, and then also The Story of My Land. So when those come out, you can sink in deeper to this story. And you guys are a part of it, because that's also what I'm so excited about doing here on this channel, is sharing the story of this process, this development, this creation with you guys. You know, I saw my friend Kat the other day, and we used to live at Karuna together, and she's been working on this permaculture project for the past 2 years. And 2 years ago, when we were living together, I was encouraging her to make videos and to document the process, and she's like, no, I'm not ready. I have to like get someplace first. And I'm like, no, Kat, like do it from the start. Like tell the story from the start. Yeah, I'm coming. She said there's magic. And I saw her the other day, and she's like, Erica, I regret that I didn't document it from the start, because like so much has happened. And I was like, I know. I was trying to tell you. All right, Ashley says there's magic over there. So let's go see what she means. What magic?
Oh, endless. First of all.
Ooh. Oh, I love these guys. They look like little beetles or something, but they're seeds.
I'm going to do some investigation, because it did just provoke some really interesting questioning. This may be a psychotropic seed.
Oh, hello.
But the magic right here is that we have this amazing system. We've got a jocote tree that's nice and old, beautiful, right?
How old do you think this tree is?
Oh, I'd say at least 30 years old.
Oh, wow. I know a lot of these coffee trees are 30 years old.
Yeah. And then we've got Cuisine, which is ice cream beans.
I love
And Erica has it all over the land, which is super fun. But then we've got rapeseed, which is a type of
castor oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I call these the Punky Brewster plants. That's what I name them. Because they have these really spiky
Dr. Seuss seeds.
Yeah.
Then we have Mispero. This guy, beautiful fuzzy leaf.
Ooh.
Beautiful. Look at like the details here. Isn't that gorgeous?
Wow.
These kind of like razor edges. Then we have some type of orange lemon lime. I don't know what. next to an avocado.
Nice. Hi,
Next
avocado.
to some bananas.
Nice.
But
Aw.
just looking at like the abundance that already exists and being like, wow, look what's already here. You haven't even efforted for this yet, you know? Amazing, right?
I love it. I love this process of like walking through the land together and like assessing and looking, and yeah, like this is very nourishing for my heart. So,
and you know, I've been asked to work on a couple projects where I did my initial land assessment and was super excited to tell the client about everything they had on their land, and they're like, we're gonna clear the space, and I was like, don't clear the space yet, let me explain to you like what treasures you have. And they went ahead and they cleared the whole space. So they cut down like all these trees that they didn't even know were fruit trees or medicinals, and so I'm so grateful that we're taking it slow enough to really get to take advantage of all the beauty that already is here.
yeah, oh, I love it. So we did cut most of the coffee. There's some coffee left. Now I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't cut the. Again, I was going too fast, but it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
definitely
There's still
okay.
a lot of coffee left. We didn't cut all of it. So.
And the other thing is some of the breeds of coffee that they were planting aren't necessarily the ones that do the best here. They give a really big harvest, but a lot of them take more chemicals and that sort of thing to be... The kind that's here is not the Robusto. Most people aren't planting that anymore. They're trying to plant this other variety that gives a better yield. I don't know what was here because I didn't get to see it.
There's more on that side. I left a bunch up there.
And those big ones you left, hey?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you see the coffee with the little white cotton string on it, those I came through and they were chopping, and I just started marking the ones like to keep. So typically like the oldest ones, the coolest looking ones, the ones with like some cool growth, like the air plants, like I kept those. And yeah, it's okay.
And we can plant more.
And we can plant more. It's
And
okay.
the reality is too, it's like, it's nice to clear the slate enough so that when we're kind of working together to synthesize your vision, we have enough space to bring those pieces in, you know?
And to do it really like thoughtfully and intentionally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Did I tell you about my teeth? Oh, I think I told you this. Do you remember the pomegranate tree I showed you down there? That I said was special and I planted it last year on my Mayan birthday? What I forgot to include is that last year I got my wisdom teeth pulled, and so part of that little ceremony was to plant my teeth in the ground and then the pomegranate tree on top. So my body is in this earth already.
And then pretty soon you'll be giving your blood here.
Amen. Hey, Deej, some people are asking what you're doing. Do you mind? Would you mind sharing? Could you tell us what you're doing?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is Dijon. He's amazing.
Aloha. Hi.
What do you got there?
This is just a very simple little laser measure, and you can't see it much now, but it just tells you how far things are from where the laser hits.
Nice.
Which is super handy when you also have some kind of like compounded...
Can I see what you're doing here? Look at these cool tools you have. Wow.
And so every corner, essentially, we measure the relative. I mean, we're still going to get drone footage, but just for mapping the trees in the meantime...
Oh, I'm so happy with mapping the trees. That's great.
A little bit better focus there.
Focus.
And so, yeah, we're essentially...
There we go. Oh, nice. There's the coat. Thank you for mapping the trees.
Yeah.
Cool.
The trees
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yay. Awesome. So cool. I don't want to distract you guys too much, so I'll say y'all's ways.
To that one.
So that's really exciting. So now you can see a little bit more about why this is really exciting, because we're slowing down, spending more time really assessing like what we have here, the different trees. I didn't even know there were fruit trees over there. That's really exciting. So what is she doing? She's shimmying on the tree. I'm sure the tree is very happy. Oh, it's great. So yeah. Yes, she said blood. She said blood. You know, that's one thing we as women can do, is we can give our blood to the earth, and that's actually very powerful and very meaningful, and a tradition that has been lost. Oh my God, what is this? Look at this guy. This is some kind of the root of something. Wow, that's pretty impressive. So yeah. So you can see, you know, that first part, you know, that's good, and I'm actually really excited to see what that's going to be turned into. But I really like the way we're doing things now. And as you can see, these are two incredibly beautiful, talented, experienced humans. And yeah, Okay. Do you guys have any questions for me while we're still on? Oh, someone asked about the newsletter. So it did not go out this morning because this is the first time I'm doing it. So we went to send it, and then MailerLite was like, wait, you need to be approved for this many people. And so it was like, So it's now going out at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. So, Bev, all of your prayers and intentions on the land are paying off. Yeah, Bev, I hope so. And one of the things that we're going to do, one of our next sessions that we come together, we're actually going to do like a little ritual, a little like prayer time where, as we start this work together, we're just going to say some prayers. I'm really into just taking those moments to stop and say some prayers and set some intentions and make some offerings and, give some of our blessings, because this land is not an inanimate object. It has a soul, it has energies, it has spirits, it has plants, it has beings here. And I really, we were talking earlier in this video about being in right relationship. And so, how can we be in right relationship with the land? How can we be in right relationship with the trees? How can we be in right relationship with the plants, Holly, where's your hut going to be? So in the permaculture course, when I came up with kind of like the basic idea, here's so the entrance is down there. I want to have like the learning school, like forest school, outdoor kitchen, playground, kids garden, somewhere around here. And then moving up, this is where I want there to be some like tiny houses. So this might actually be a spot for a tiny house right here. So I want to do a couple tiny houses, and then over there will be some other gardens. I want like a little Zen garden. I want a little meditation hut. And then up there at the top of the land, I'm thinking that's where the house is going to go. And over there, up at the top, there's going to be a pond, because also in the rainy season, a lot of water comes down. So part of what we're going to be designing together is how do we harness and capture that water? How do we direct that water? So the big rains come and the water is channeled into the garden, right? And then also the ways that the houses are going to be built, the shower water, the sink water, that is going to not go into pipes and disappear. It's going to just go out into the garden. So we're going to make sure we're tapping into and harnessing all of that energy and all of those resources, and really just making the most of it. So, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, the land has memories for sure. So, and it's not a replay, it's still live. So right now this video is being streamed live on Facebook, and I don't know if you guys saw my post earlier today, but I am so grateful to now be working with my new assistant Chani, and what she's doing, part of her job, is to download my videos from Facebook and then to upload them to both YouTube and Instagram. So for the people who are not wanting to play in the Facebook arena, in the Facebook sandbox, you're going to have now the opportunity to connect with this story that I'm telling and this content that I'm sharing on these other platforms, which is really exciting because I've struggled, while I've been pretty consistent here on Facebook, I've struggled to maintain that same consistency across other platforms. So I'm really looking forward to growing in that way this year, and just reaching more people and sharing the story, and sharing the lessons that I'm learning. And let me show you one more thing. So the workers who are here, I was actually just kind of amazed by how much trash they left, and it illustrates one point, and something that I would like to do here on this land is I would like to have a sort of waste processing facility where we take waste and we turn it into other things. So trash is only a problem if it's not properly processed, right? Something that's properly processed can become a valuable resource, So I found all of these bottles kind of stuffed down there. So this is a lot of the trash. So all of these bottles were just stuffed down there. So I took the tops off and I set them here so they can dry out. So these bottles are examples. I'm going to be using these to make eco bricks. Now, what's an eco brick? An eco brick is a plastic bottle that you then stuff with clean, dry plastic trash. And then you can use it as a building material. So at some point in the future, I said that, so this is going to be educational classroom. I also, somewhere around here, I want to have a waste shop, like a workshop for waste, where we can process materials and turn them into building supplies and turn them into gosh, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what else? So we'll see. So, you know, this is an exciting adventure to be sharing with you guys. I've been making videos now for 8 years, and previously the adventure was all about going to another country and, you know, searching. I didn't know for what, but kind of now I know I was searching for a home. And then here I am. I have arrived at the end of one chapter, but the beginning of something completely new, and it feels really exciting to completely shift the nature of the adventure. Before, the adventure was all about flying and having wings, and now it's about staying and growing roots. So, you heard me talk about the pomegranate trees where my teeth are buried. Here it is. So here she is. So I was just watering her here, so that's why it looks wet. She definitely needs more water. She's gonna really appreciate when the rains come in a few months. But as you can see, this was where the level of the earth was before, but I told the guys, please don't cut this tree, this plant, and so they dug around it. So you can see she's got some little roots hanging out. I'm so sorry. So we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe build like a little like stone thing around this, and this could be a nice place to like sit and talk and reflect, and so this is one of the entrance areas. So I'm really curious to see what this is going to turn into in the future, because right now it kind of really feels like it could be kind of like a little living room, kind of right by the entrance or the exit. Hi, Carrie. So Weepy is doing well. We saw Weepy on the path and she followed us. Cocoa Bear came too, but then Cocoa Bear and Copal started fighting, or rough playing. So yeah. Alright guys, well, I think that's enough for now. I hope you enjoyed this video and this little glimpse into where we are in the process. It's a long process. So I think that's what I'm learning, is just to slow down, don't rush it, move at Earth speed, because nature and God has its own timing, right? And we must respect that if we are to stay on that path of aligned action, and not the forcing, pushing, trying to make things work when they're not really meant to work that way, Yeah, Jerry, it's exciting. She says it's exciting even for the watchers. And yeah, so I'd like to think of it as I'm doing a kind of show. There was like a home renovation show, or like those shows where they build a home, or do this. It's that, but starting with the bare land and a whole lot of time. So this is real time. It's real time. So I'm excited. I'm so excited to bring you guys along for this journey and to share this adventure with you and to show you what's possible. We're going to be learning a lot. And I'm excited to share those lessons with you as always, and as we've been doing this whole time. So, okay. Elizabeth, yes, Caleb is still here. I actually just saw him, and after this I'm going to go meet with him. I have a little drop-in about our video project. I think it's definitely... There's a whole new level to it now that we've really started working on the land, because when we first started shooting together, it was still very much a jungle, so we're definitely at a new chapter here. So yeah. Great. Okay guys, thank you so much for checking in and watching, getting to meet these beautiful characters. Oh, hi Virginia. Yeah, thank you Virginia, and I will see you guys soon. All right.